So we'll begin with our word of prayer. Let us pray. Gracious loving Father in heaven, we come before your throne of grace on this, your holy Saturday Sabbath. Thanking you, Father, for bringing us safely through another week, Father, to see another beautiful Sabbath week. We ask you, Father, to justify us and change us, to forgive us of sins in our hearts and make us sinful, as we will be able to keep your seven-day Sabbath holy. As we partake of your bread of life this morning, we ask you, Father, to give us a clear understanding of the things that we are discussing, that we will know how temptation comes to us, how we have to handle temptation, and to also understand what temptation entails and how you alone can deal with that for the As I speak before the Virgin Father, I will ask you for clarity of speech, that the Virgin may understand what is being presented, and that I may speak to the edification and encouragement of the Virgin Father, that the world may be encouraged to face temptation with the faith and to triumph their loving Father. May your spirit of truth be with us as we enter our discussion with our humble prayer, and thank you for hearing us and blessing us. In Jesus' holy name, amen. Okay, let's let them come and represent this service. And we will continue from last week, but then give a quick run through. Right, so, where is right. So we are dealing studying go handle sin, but we must handle temptation. And we are going through and so all of us is born in sin. And when we are born in sin, we are without Christ, the divine character, and we are without God, the divine nature. So that's how we were all born. And when we are born without God and Christ, we develop self. And what self entails is, in what alienation of God and Christ, we are self-will, which means we have our own humanistic thoughts and values, and we have perverted emotions flowing for those values. Right? We also went on to see that God alone forgives or justifies. God alone can forgive or justify. And we saw that justification, which is the same as forgiveness, is the same as cleansing, it is transformative. When God justifies us, He changes us. And we also saw that for God to justify us, He gave us conditions of justification, conditions which we must fulfill in order that God can justify us. God is the one who gives the conditions, and the conditions we saw is repentance, believing, and confession, and we went in to see all of that from the Bible, from the Scripture. We also saw that repentance is a gift from God, and it is not generated by man. Repentance is not human ability or generated by human. Right? We also saw that faith is the revealed truth of God, or the divine character. And we saw that justification by faith gives us life and peace for the spiritual man, which is our born again self. And our born again self entails born within, because that was the problem, no born within, and Christ within. Because that was the problem. No Christ within. So our born again self is God and Christ within. And so we see that God handles the problem of sin by what? Justifying us by faith. We saw that. And we went on to see temptation. We went on to see that God is the one who handles sin. We must handle temptation. We went in to see what temptation entails or is all about. And we saw that temptation, there is something called temptation, and it was originated by the devil. So we did see that. Temptation originated with Lucifer, the fallen angel. And we also saw that temptation contains 2 points or 2 components. And those 2 points is gratification ideas and law breaking requirements. And we saw that we saw that gratification ideas is concept of gratification in things forbidden by God. That is what gratification ideas is with regards to temptation. And we also saw law-breaking requirements is called to break God's commandments to experience the temptation. This requires participation in the transgression. This here. But we went on to see that all temptation, in all temptation, there is a hidden principle. And the hidden principle is Lucifer is exalted as God with God. That is the hidden principle in all temptation. So we saw that temptation exalts creation as God with God, and by extension, Lucifer as God with God. Because this was Lucifer's original image. This here. So we start back from here. Because we did want to see, we did stop on the point of it was temptation, but I feel it necessary to go over temptation from without, then go on to that. Right? So let us see temptation from without is not sin. Right? So temptation from without is not sin. And we will begin by looking at Matthew chapter 4 and verse 1. Only virgin mind is refreshed based upon the discussion. Yeah. So we're looking at Matthew chapter 4, verse 1, and we are looking at temptation from without is not sin. And it says this: then was Jesus led up of the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil. So we see Jesus was tempted of the devil, right? Hebrews chapter 4. Hebrews chapter 4, verse 14 and verse 15. And we are on point. Temptation from without is not sin. Meaning the individual who is facing the temptation from without, not because they're facing a temptation, they are in sin. Right? But the temptation is in the right? So, Hebrews chapter 4, verse 14 and verse 15, it says this: seeing then that we have a great high priest that is passed into the heavens, Jesus, the Son of God, let us hold fast our profession. So here we are told our high priest is Jesus, right? It says, for we have not an high priest which cannot be touched with the feeling of our infirmity, but was in all points tempted like as we are, yet without sin. So here Jesus was tempted in all points like as we are, yet without sin. So temptation from without is not sin, because Jesus was tempted and he did not sin. You know, there's concepts in the world that once so you don't be tempted for you to take it. There's those concepts out there where people think that temptation is sin. Because you are tempted, somehow you are sin. You sin. Right? But temptation from without is not sin. So we could go to the next point, and this is where we were last week. And we spent a lot of time here, and a lot of different things were said and so forth. You know, by the grace of God, I hope I can explain myself plain enough that you will just understand, right? So we are looking at temptation from within is sin, right? So we are looking at temptation from within is sin. Jesus never had temptation from within, because that experience, temptation from within, is to be in a sinful state, right? But what is temptation from within? Temptation from within is ideas of gratification accepted in the mind. So the mind has idol values in it, right? But feeling, flowing for the ideas of gratification, and is the source of inward temptation to go after the wrong. So inward temptation, the source to go after the wrong is the inward temptation. And the inward temptation is the feelings flowing to motivate a choice to go and do the wrong, to do the actual practice. Right? So we would look at, I'm going to feature questions and maybe contributions, right? So we would look at James chapter 1 verse 14 and verse 15. So we are looking at temptation from within is sin. James chapter 1 verse 14 and verse 15, and it says this: but every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust and enticed. So here we are told a temptation is taken away, taken a man, but when he's drawn away of his what? Own lust. So here, this is not talking about a temptation from without, because a temptation from without, they don't have no lust within to draw you away, right? So temptation from without is you are hiding in the truth of Jesus Christ. A temptation comes to you, and you handle it with faith by the grace of God. No lust to draw you away, right? But to have a temptation, and it shows the person is drawn away of his own lust, that is that inward temptation. It means the person has already accepted concept, but now the lust is drawing them away, or pulling them to do something, to do more, or to go further than just accepting. Right? So it says, and it will show that verse 15. Then when not have conceived, it was bring it forth sin. So when the concept not accepted, the person faces inward temptation and drawing away based upon their own love, their own passions and feelings. But it brings forth what? Sin. So this is carrying out the work here. Right? But it should bring forth sin. But that cannot take place without a choice. Right? That bringing forth, that fruit to be born cannot take place if you don't choose. Right? So it goes on and sin, when it is finished, bring it forth death. So this scripture here is dealing with inward temptation, but we see the inward temptation is based upon a drawing away of your own lust. So this is inward temptation. Let us also look at, everybody get access? Yes.
We have two questions. We can answer first one first. Which will be the second one. So the first question is, what do you want to do so far is that it's not finished. Temptation is finished. It's finished. With that, it is given you the pointer that is proven type of temptation.
That's the third.
With that being said now, it's not it, right?
Yes.
So with that being said, all temptation involves choice. So,
Yes.
I want you to slow down to you.
I commented that.
I want you to slow down to
I
you.
show where the choices is taken.
Stop. Think about temptation. So what I'm getting is that when someone is tempted to sin, it's already.
Yeah.
So I want you to break it down, slow it down to you. And show me choice that is created when the temptation is what?
Alright, I'll let you see it. Right? So, as we go on. So, let us see. But correct, there is two types of temptation. That is why I chose this song. Kind of song without language. A temptation from without language. Yes. I didn't choose it just to copy just that way. Right? Yes. You understand? There is temptation from without and temptation from within. This scripture is actually showing there is something called temptation from within. Right? We are supposed to tempted based upon a drawing away of the whole law. Right? So have lust, you are in transgression. Right? But let us look at Matthew chapter 4 and verse 1. Sorry. Matthew chapter 5 verse 20. That's another point to show temptation from within. Right? Matthew chapter 5 and verse 20. Matthew chapter 5 and we are looking at verse 22. Jesus speaking, but I say unto you that whosoever looketh on a woman to lust after her has committed adultery with her already in his heart. So this is inward. It is based upon thought, but he's looking a particular way. So for him to be looking a particular way with lust, it means before that a concept was accepted. Right? For him to be now looking with lust. Right? So this is sin. Right? Now, based upon the question that they asked, you just look at 3 portions of scripture and examine it carefully and see what you can see, right? Romans chapter 8 2. Romans chapter 8, and we're looking at verse 6. Right? Romans chapter 8 and verse 6, and it says this. For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. Or we looking at the accurate translation. It says, for the thought of the flesh is death. Right? So I'm writing that, right? The thought of the flesh. So here we see there is the thought of the flesh, which is the carnal mind, right? Let us look now at Galatians chapter 5. Galatians chapter 5. And we are reading from verse 19. 19 to 21. Right? It says this. Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulation, wrath, strife, sedition, heresies, envying, murders, drunkenness, revelings, and such like, of the which I tell you before, as I have told you in time past, that they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of God. So here we are told, now the works of the flesh are manifest. So that's how we see, for the thought of the flesh is death. Carnal mind. Now we are being told here there's the what? Works of the flesh. Right? So I can work of the flesh. Right. As I look over this study last week, this is where what I rested my mind, by the grace of God. Scripture is written by chance, how it is structured. You understand? Here we see the carnal mind, that is thought of the flesh. But here in Galatians, we have the works of the flesh. So that is manifestation, words. Right? Now, to have the thought of the flesh, well, we're not talking about when we were born, we're talking about Christians who were converted, right? For them to end up losing their experience, a temptation must come to them, which we saw as gratification ideas with law-breaking requirements. For they to have the thought of the flesh, they must accept the temptation. A choice must take place to accept it. The first choice. Yeah, there is temptation without. A temptation from without come to you. It's a concept, come to you. You must first choose to accept that to have the thoughts of the flesh. Now when you have the thoughts of the flesh, for this to happen, something else must happen. Let us look at Romans chapter 7. For the works of the flesh should be brought forth. Romans chapter 7. Let us look at Romans chapter 7. And we are reading verse 5. Right? Romans chapter 7, verse 5. And it says this: For when ye were in the flesh, So, to be in the flesh, we know for the thought of the flesh is death. And we know as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So to be in the flesh is to have the thoughts of the flesh. But here what it goes on to say. For when we were in the flesh, the emotions of sin, right? The emotions of sin, which were by the law, did what? Work in our members to do what? Bring forth fruit. What fruit is that? You understand? So what? For when you were in the flesh, so you're in the flesh, you have the thought of the flesh, the emotions of sin, which were by the law, did work in your members to bring forth fruit, which will be of the flesh. Right? Yes. So you have the right? So you have the emotions of sin or perverted emotions. But it shows for when you were in the flesh. So to be in the flesh, a person who was once converted or in the truth, they must first choose. They must first choose to accept the concepts, the temptation done to them. The first choice is to accept it. When they accept what the temptation is saying, that is outward temptation, they have the thought of the flesh. But when you have the thought of the flesh, we see here in chapter 5 of verse 5 of chapter 7 in Romans, we saw for when we were in the flesh, the emotions of sin, or perverted emotions, which were by the law, did work in our members to bring forth fruit, which is the work of the flesh. But for the work of the flesh to be manifested, another choice must take place. But that choice is motivated now by the emotions or the perverted emotions. So the first, so guys, let me just tell you, you have to read this here. Right. So, two choices must take place for the outward manifestation of our will to be done, sinful will. Temptation from without comes to the person. The person must exercise choice to accept it. First choice. When they accept that, they have the thoughts of the flesh. When they have the thoughts of the flesh, perverted emotions start flowing in the body. Now the perverted emotion is influencing another choice to go and do the wrong. So the perverted emotion is influencing the mind to make a second choice to carry out the action. Right? So, and when the perverted emotion is flowing to motivate a second choice, that's why the person already in sin, because they already made the first choice. That is why when you have in one temptation, you're already in sin because of the first choice. You make the first choice, you accept the temptation, you already have idle values. You already sinning in thoughts and emotions, because the emotions flow. But the flowing of the emotions or the perverted emotions now is to motivate another choice to go and do the wrong. So that choice is the second choice to make to bring forth the truth. But that there is what inward temptation is. So the inward temptation temptation is the feeling motivating the what? Self-control. Right? So let me just read from this booklet here. Beautiful booklet. Right? One minute, brethren. Look at here, page 19 again. It says this. I'm going to read this quotation first, which is from page 19, then I'll read that part. So that part is not in. So, I'm reading here from page 19, quotation from Brother Medina. It says this in the booklet, Studies to Secure the Truth, page 19. It says this. To be tempted from within is to experience the emotional pull for the wrong things. But one must first accept the false knowledge that tempts one from without. So to be tempted from within is to have the emotional pull to do the wrong. But one must first accept the what? Temptation from without. So you must make the first choice first for there to have temptation within. So temptation, when one falls to temptation which is without, then they have what? Temptation from within. But it goes on. Thus, it is only when one sins by accepting the temptation from without in his heart that he is tempted from within by his own passion to go after wrong. See that? Right. So now let me read here this particular part. It says this. Thus, I'll read that to you again. It is only when one sins by accepting the temptation from without in his heart, because choice, that he is tempted from within by his own passion to go after the wrong. But watch this. Thus, when one is tempted from within, it is because he has already sinned 2 ways. Right? I read it again. Thus, when one is tempted from within, that's why temptation from within is sin. Thus, but you ain't carry out the action yet, no. But you're experiencing temptation from within. You see, thus, when one is tempted from within, it is because he has already sinned in 2 ways. One, he has yielded or accepted false knowledge or deception. So, the first sin is by accepting the deception or the false knowledge. Then the second one, that is before you carry out the warfare, that is when he's having inward temptation. His feeling, the second one, his feeling has been perverted or directed to flow for the wrong he has accepted. So, perverted emotions flowing, that is it. But it is flowing, his feelings has been perverted or directed to flow for the wrong thing he has accepted, or he carry out that yet. You understand? So you make a choice, you accept what the temptation is saying. You sin in your thoughts, in your heart by accepting. Perverted emotions is flowing. You're sinning in your emotions. But those emotions, the works of the flesh. So when you carry it out now, it's still cheating. Boys, 2 churches. Right? But inward temptation is when one is experiencing the emotional pull to go to the Lord. Right? So you get it said? Amen. Amen. Right. Also, we see, because questions was being asked last week, if one could have wrong knowledge in their mind, do some wrong and they don't have no positive emotions pulling them off. We see that is not true. That is not the pattern in the scriptures. Here we see there is the force of the flesh, there is the works of the flesh. But when you have the force of the flesh, immediately the emotions flow in the body to influence another choice that will for the word. The word. So it cannot be divorced perverted emotions from having the idol concept in mind or the idol value. Right? So temptation from within is sin. Ideas of gratification accepted in mind and feelings flowing for the ideas of gratification and it's the sort of inward temptation to go after you. Right? So I hope you mentioned you can clear this time.
Looking at this path here, right? I understand this can happen to us. But how is this not being seen on track? If it happens to us, how is it seen?
Say that again?
If it happens to us, how is it seen? Temptation from within.
Yeah.
But how is this not being seen?
How is it value? So that is why the how to put it, we will not be able to work out all these thought processes and how they function because they, from a particular age, they may not be processing knowledge the way we will, more intelligent, but knowledge will run in the mind. They will be seeing if I try and will come. Right? And I want money to come to tell move what I'm trying to say. And I want money to come now, and emotions will come on to come now. Follow me. You understand? So it's very important. So, yeah, it can be different. Right? So since temptation from within is sin, and we saw that God alone can deal with sin, the temptation we must handle is temptation from without. See that? So I'm going to over again. So you see, when temptation from within is taking place, you see wrong emotions that you flowing in the body, you fall asleep. You accept a wrong concept somewhere along the line. First word, fulfill the conditions of justification. And when you do that now, you ask God now to carry your back and show you where you accept the wrong concept, where you reject conviction from God, because God will have been showing you. But it happens fast, or you just reason it away, and the Holy Spirit will show you. So you don't have to carry out the work.
Amen.
You don't have to go that far. You just see the wrong notion flowing in my body. I am transgression. The moment you see that, I don't need to working on your mind to give you conviction of sin. You understand? So fulfill the first word, the condition. You don't have to go and tell, I don't need to know, you don't want to know. Because you see, when you reason like that, you reason in a way to keep the sin. And you see, sin strengthens or bad habits strengthens by practice.
Yes.
So if you reason and say, well, emotions and feelings, never go and do the thing, you're actually hardening yourself in that area by going forward. But God is working for you to deal with the thought from it. You can be sure when it comes out. But even at this stage, He will show you so you can repent and become better again, and He can carry you further now that you wouldn't experience temptation from within. You wouldn't even accept before. Right? And this is something we have to be sincere and willing to go through to deal with every besetting thing in our life.
Amen.
Right?
Yes.
So, since temptation from within is sin, and we saw that God alone can deal with sin, the temptation we must handle is temptation from without. After God has dealt with temptation from within, so we will not have temptation within again. Right? So temptation from within, God must handle that. Right? We need justification. Right? So the temptation we have to handle is temptation from without. How do we handle temptation? Right? How do we handle temptation? And when we talking about temptation from without, right? Let us see. Faith. That is how we handle temptation. Right? So let us see. Remember, all temptation exalts creation to be God with God. And it exalts Lucifer as God with God. So temptation is God's with God concept. Amen? Yes. Temptation comes, but it's God's with God concept. But faith establishes the oneness of God. So when God's with God concept comes to you, how you face that? With faith. Why? Faith what? Establishes the oneness of God. So let us see. Faith establishes the oneness of God. Romans chapter 3. Romans chapter 3. And we are looking at verse 29 and verse 30. It says this. Is he the God of the Jews only? Is he not also of the Gentiles? Yes, of the Gentiles also. Seeing it is what? One God. Okay? Seeing, like in the consciousness, it is one God which shall what? Justify the circumcision what? By faith, and the uncircumcision what? Through faith. So it's only through faith we can see it as one God. Right? So faith establishes the oneness of God. So how we handle temptation? When temptation comes to us, we have to strip it to the faith, see the God's concept in it, and through the faith, hold in our mind the oneness of Yahweh. And that destroys the temptation. Right? So let us also see Ephesians chapter 4 and verse 5. So faith establishes the oneness of God. And since temptation is God's with God, or God's with God concept, faith is the only way we can genuinely handle temptation. Right? So we're looking at Ephesians chapter 4 and verse 5 on the point, faith establishes the oneness of God. It says this. One Lord, one faith, one baptism. So the one faith establishes the one Lord, or the one Yahweh. So faith establishes the oneness of God. Let us also see the just lives by it. This faith, the just lives by it. Romans chapter 1. So that is how we handle temptation, brethren. By faith. So if it is you see something tumbling in, you have to ask God to give you the faith, the revealed truth to unravel that temptation. to expose it, that it can make a choice to glorify God when you right? So, the just lives by this faith. Romans chapter 1, verse 16 and verse 17. Romans chapter 1, verse 16 and verse 17, it says this. For I am not ashamed of the gospel of Christ, for it is the power of God unto salvation to everyone that believeth, to the Jew first and also to the Greek. For therein, in the faith, is the what? Righteousness of God revealed. When that is revealed to your mind, is the oneness of God is revealed to your mind, which is in the faith. And it goes on to say, from faith to faith, as it is written, the just shall live by faith. So how we handle temptation? Living by faith. Right? Living by the revealed truth of God. Why? Because temptation always seeks to exalt some creation. But faith exalts Yahweh to be what? God alone. So we handle temptation through faith. Right? Let us also see faith gives us victory over sin. Right? Faith gives us victory over sin. So you see, if you do not like to study a Bible, how will you be nourished up in faith to handle temptation? So you have to discipline yourself. You want to be victorious when you face temptation. You have to partake of the bread of life.
Amen.
You have to get faith, because the Christian for the day is the evil thereof. So daily you partake of the bread of life, that you will be able to maintain your born again self by handling temptation with the faith. Right? So faith gives us victory over sin. 1 John chapter 5. 1 John chapter 5 and verse 4. So there is no problem you can have that cannot be dealt with. Because faith gives us victory over sin. So be encouraged. There is faith to give you victory over what it is you have in. But you have to want it. You have to seek it. Right? You have to ask God to show you, and God will show you who you could speak to for help. Right? So faith gives us victory over sin. 1 John chapter 5 and verse 4. It says this. For whatsoever is born of God overcometh the world. And this is the victory that overcometh the world, even our faith. So faith gives us victory over the world, but what is in the world? The lust of the eyes, the lust of the flesh, and the pride of life. So faith, and that's all I say. And faith gives us victory over that. Right? So we handle temptation, the lust of the eyes, the lust of the flesh, and the pride of life by faith. Right? Which we saw earlier is the revealed truths of God. Right? Faith establishes law-keeping in us. So, this is why, you see, remember, when temptation comes to you, it is gratification ideas and what? Law-breaking requirements. But faith establishes what? Law-keeping in us. So it's true faith we what? Handle temptation. You understand? You're not going after things that require you to break God's law. Because true faith establishes in us law-keeping. Romans chapter 3 and verse 31. Faith establishes law keeping in us. Romans chapter 3 and verse 31. And it says this: do we then make void the law through faith? God forbid. Here we want establish the law. So faith establishes what? Us in what? Law keeping. Right? So we handle temptation through faith. But look, since it is true faith, but look at all these different points of faith we see it to handle temptation. Right? So while on top of that general statement, we handle temptation by faith, look, we have different points to show faith. What faith accomplishes in us when we have it. Right? So we saw faith establishes law keeping or establishes us in law keeping. And let us also see faith or sin-freeness is maintained by it. Faith. Right? Romans chapter 14 and verse 23. So sin-freeness is maintained by faith. Right? So sin-freeness is maintained through faith. So when you fulfill the conditions of justification and God make us sin-free, that experience is maintained by what? Faith. For that experience to remain in you, you need to live by faith. You need to keep the faith. You need to handle temptation which comes to rob you of that experience. You need to handle the temptation with faith. Right? Romans chapter 14 verse 23, and it says this: and he that doubteth is damned if he eat, because he eateth not of faith. For whatsoever is not of faith is sin. So whatsoever is not of faith is sin. So whatsoever is of faith is what? Sin-freeness. You understand? So whatsoever is of faith is sin-freeness. So that is why sin-freeness is maintained by what? By faith. Amen, Virgin? Right. So we handle temptation by resisting it and destroying its false claims with the faith. Right? We handle temptation by resisting it and destroying its false claims with the faith. Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 16. Ephesians chapter 6, we are looking at verse 16. And it says this: above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to what? Quench all the fiery darts of the wicked. So you have to take the shield of faith, that will be able to quench the fiery darts of the wicked. Let us also see Hebrews chapter 11. Hebrews chapter 11. So we are looking at the point. We handle temptation by resisting it. So you quench the fiery darts through the faith. You have the shield of faith, so you're resisting it, right? You're resisting the temptation with the what? With the shield, the faith. So you resist it, right? But we must also what? Not just resist, we must also what? Destroy its false claims. So that is where you see sometimes you resist, which is good. But every time it comes to a battlefield to resist. But you see, you have to go from just the resisting part, go on to destroying the claims. So it becomes weaker to you now. Every time it come back, it's more weak. Because it is destroying the claims of it. It's more weak until the point is, it's nothing for you. It's not even temptation. The devil can come and say, look,
Amen.
nothing appealing to you. Right? So, Hebrews chapter 11, verse 24 to 26. Hebrews chapter 11, verse 24 to verse 26. And we are looking at the point, we handle temptation by resisting it and destroying its false claims with the faith or the revealed truths. Right? Verse 24 to 26, it says this. By faith. So it done telling you, whatever coming after, it was handled by faith. Right? Verse 24, it says, by faith, Moses, when he was come to years, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter, so he resisted it, choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of God than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season. So he refused it, he resisted. But here we're going to say, esteeming the what? Reproach of Christ greater riches. So here this, whatever this commentator for finding riches, but that is temptation. But he resisted. What he esteemed. So it means he worked out what the temptation is saying, and he destroyed with the faith because he what? Esteeming the reproach of Christ what? Greater riches. Right? Than the treasures in Egypt, for he had respect unto the recompense of the reward. So here we see, for him to esteem the reproaches of Christ, to be more, or to be more rich or richer, it means to say, use the faith and work out whatever it will say, and faith show him the higher reward, or which is higher. So the claims of the temptation, Moses used the faith to destroy the claims. Right? But he used the faith. Yes. Amen, Bridget?
It also gives us victory over sin.
Amen. Amen. By the grace of God. So we see, we handle temptation by resisting it and destroying its false claims with the faith. Right. So we coming up to the closing off here now. So, next chart. Last particular point. Right? Yes?
What you really needed to tell us was that part of this was not fulfilled yet in Moses' time.
No, but the faith, the revealed truths, is what.
Now you reproach, it was not reproach of Christ because it wasn't fulfilled at that time. They come and the man died, but it came after.
Yes, you talking about the literal death of Christ. He go through, but it says by faith, so it shows the faith of Jesus Christ is what Moses had. So in his time, the truths of the Messiah to come is what he was abiding in, and what the Messiah will face when he comes and all these things. Right? So he was abiding in the faith of Jesus Christ. Those truths is what gave him what? Victory. But those truths in his mind is what he used to destroy the claims of the temptation. So in Moses' time, faith is the victory. In Jesus' time, faith is the victory. In our time, faith is the victory. Amen. Right? So,
Brother, we want to add a text.
Let's add in a text for the sister's sake here, right? If you do this, Sister Anna's right. If you let's turn to 1 Peter chapter 1 and 10 and 11. 1 Peter chapter 1, 10 and 11. Because he was saying that Christ wasn't in that time. Yeah. Oh yeah? Well, let us see. Verse 10, right? You have it there, Sister Annis? They say, of which salvation the prophets had inquired and searched diligently, who prophesied of the grace that should come unto you, searching what or what manner of time the Spirit of Christ, which was where? Do you have it with me, Sister Annis?
Yeah.
Right. Searching what or what manner of time the Spirit of Christ, which was in them, did signify when it testified beforehand the sufferings of Christ and the glory that should follow. So the prophets was valuable as prophets because of the Spirit of Christ being in them.
Amen. Amen. Yeah, this is my last one.
Grace and peace, Virgin Present Sabbath.
Yes.
Just like to share one scripture in James chapter 4, verse 7, right? On the same book, right? James chapter 4, verse 7. Now it seems like a simple scripture, but when you understand certain principles, then you can explain it this way, right? Verse 7, it says, submit yourselves therefore to who? God. So the Bible identifies we must be submitted to God. But when you're submitted to God, you have a relationship with God. Look at what it goes on and says. Submit yourself therefore to God. Resist the devil. So it means the devil always comes to destroy your relationship between you and God. But you must resist the devil through what? Faith, which is what you will identify. You see that? So faith is what must cause you or motivate you to destroy the temptation that comes to you by the devil. You see that? But what we must take into consideration is the pantheistic claims presented in temptation always come to destroy the relationship between you and God. Right? So it goes on and says, submit yourself therefore to God, resist the devil through faith, and he will what? Flee from you. Right? So I just wanted to present that.
Right. Amen. Yes. So I was given another scripture here to read for Sister Annis. Well, to just share more light. Right? And we're looking at 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 1 to 2, or 1 to 4. Right? And it says, well, when everybody gets it. First Corinthians chapter 10, verse 1 to 4. And it says this. Moreover, brethren, I would not that ye should be ignorant, how that all our fathers were under the cloud, and all passed through the sea, and were all baptized unto Moses in the cloud and in the sea, and did all eat of the same one, spiritual meat, and did all drink the same one, spiritual drink, for they drank of that spiritual rock that followed them, and that rock was Christ. So it is the faith of Jesus Christ, the revealed truths of Jesus Christ. They partake of, we all partake of. We are not saved by a physical event. We are saved through faith. Right? So, we are on to the last point. So we see that we handle temptation by resisting it and destroying its false claims with the faith. last point here. When temptation comes to us, we must be conscious of something. So whenever a temptation, a situation, a trial comes to you, you have to be conscious of certain things. Right? When temptation comes to us, we must be conscious that it is the trial of our faith. And we are to keep the faith under the trial and develop Christ-like human personality traits unto the end for salvation. So when temptation comes to us, we must be conscious that it is the trial of our faith. Right? And we are to keep the faith. So this is something you must be conscious of in your own mind. You see the test come, you have to be conscious in your own mind and must keep the faith here. Because Daniel and the Hebrew boys, they purpose in their heart that they would know what? Partake of the king's meat. So it means they had a consciousness in their mind. They was conscious that they will keep the faith facing that test. So whenever temptation comes to us, we must be conscious.
Yeah, just question, right? Sometimes when the temptation that came to Daniel and the three boys, they knew they never used to eat that kind of food. So from the time it comes to them, they know it is a temptation. Because they know they never eat this kind of food. The temptation for them will be, should I obey and follow the dietary plan God gave me, or perish? So the temptation for them more was right, an attack against their right to life. But my question is, what if a temptation comes to you, not like a temptation? It comes to you as something good, something that is that the law of God is not against. But pursuing it, to pursue it, and to go into it, you have to sin. So when it comes, it comes to like something like if it is not a temptation. Like for instance, you get a good job. The job doesn't require you to break the Sabbath. But when you follow up to the job, you have to lie to the customer over and over, or do some kind of other work. So the point about it is, how would you know, or what should be done if a temptation comes to you, but you don't know, it comes as if it's an ordinary good thing, but not a temptation.
Alright. Well, what? I will just go to that scripture to give an answer, right? Psalms chapter 40. Psalms chapter 40 and verse 8, and it says this: I delight to do thy will, O my God, yea, thy law is within my heart. So when a person has delight in doing the will of God, God will show them. Even though it doesn't come to require to do the law of God now, but in it, that is not my purpose for you. So when a person is walking in the faith, even though the thing of itself is not wrong, it will become a person of offer you a job. Once you have delight in the will of God, God will show you, I have no purpose for you here, and therefore you resist it.
So the real temptation there is what you individual like, what you would want. So that will determine whether you're going to pursue it now and start to transgress or not.
Amen. But God will show you that pursuing that, you will lose the experience. Amen. Amen. Right. So, when temptation comes to us, we must be conscious that it is the trying of our faith, and we are to keep the faith under the trial and develop Christ-like human personality traits. So when you're tested, when trial comes to you, you must be conscious that you must keep the faith. But to keep the faith, you develop personality traits. So when it comes, you must be conscious of that. So let us look at 1 Peter chapter 1. First Peter chapter 1. I personally experienced what acts there has. And I'm going through it in my mind there. Certain things are not wrong, but it's not for me.
Amen.
Yeah. What you mean? I don't want to go about that. Yeah, you know?
And because some people think that because the thing is not against the law of God, it's okay to do it. But sometimes something is not against the law of God, but it's not for you.
Amen.
Right? That is still like religion, negotiation. Nothing is wrong with eating food. Nothing is wrong with eating good food. So you have your vegetarian food. Okay? But when you eat, if you eat at 6 o'clock in the evening, it works bad for your body. You have a tendency of clogging your system. The mind don't function well. It is the time when you're most vulnerable. But for another person, eating 6 o'clock doesn't do anything to them. So if you say, but there's no crime in eating 6 o'clock, and you go and you eat at that time, clog up the system because you know your body cannot function that way. And how do you expect to function in God? So you see, so temptation to come to you, but it don't have to be something that they say transgress the law of God. It could be something that in itself is not bad. But for you, you are not supposed to go. You understand? You are not supposed to go. See, so one has to be at a time. And then, so if one were to take an assessment of the church here and see what kind of temptation comes to the majority of people here every day or every week, if you were to take a poll and see what kind of temptation comes to you here, because you have an advanced faith, it seems to me as if nothing is wrong. It always comes to you as if it is something that is not wrong. So except you just love wrong, and therefore wrong comes to you open.
So it's like a higher deception for us to dislike.
Right, so that's how you judge yourself here. How does the temptation come to us here in this street? And you must overcome however it is.
Amen.
Nobody should say it's hard, because everything has a process.
Yes.
And you have to be patient with yourself.
Amen.
Because if God called you, he didn't call you to fail.
Amen.
And if you fail, it's because you don't want to persist. And that's your problem. You need to persist.
Amen. 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 Yes. So we are looking at 1 Peter chapter 1, and we are looking at when temptation comes to us, we must be conscious that it is the trying of our faith, and we have to keep the faith under the trial and develop Christ-like human personality traits. So when you face a test and you keep the faith, you develop Christ-like traits. Right? So 1 Peter, and we must do that unto the end for salvation. Right? So we must really be what? Overcomers by the grace of God. Right? So 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 6 and 7. Right? It says this. Wherein ye greatly rejoice, though now for a season, if need be, ye are in what? Heaviness to what? Manifold temptations. That the what? Trial of your faith. So here it is, the manifold temptations is the what? Trial of your faith. That the trial of your faith being what? Much more precious than of gold that what? Perisheth. Though it be tried with fire, might be found unto praise and honor and glory when at the appearing of Jesus Christ. So here it is, we greatly rejoice now for our season. But some are in heaviness too, manifold temptations. But the temptations here, we are told, it is the trying of your faith. But you must be conscious that the trying of your faith is much more precious than gold that perishes. So you must have in your mind a consciousness that, look, this coming, this testing here, comes here, is the trial of my faith. And that is much more precious than a gold that perishes. Let us also look at James chapter 1, 2 to 4. To see that we must be conscious in our minds when these things are happening. So we have to eradicate thoughtlessness and be more conscious and focused moment by moment as we live. Because it's those windows of thoughtlessness, a barrage of ideas can come and talk to you. And they can come like Brother Medina said, come as something not looking to be bad. Right? But if you're thoughtless at that time, it catch you. So you have to be conscious and know the will of God for you by the grace of God.
And that's why everybody should pray that God give them a heightened sense of morality. See, people pray for more money. People pray for a house. People pray for a job. Why not pray for a heightened sense of morality? Anybody who will be saved now and become a part of the 144,000 must have a heightened sense of morality. And they must pray for that. And that's why any subversion of that is a criminal enterprise. Any subversion of having a higher morality is a criminal enterprise. Because anybody that will break down you climbing the ladder by grace, they're throwing you down off the ladder.
Yes.
And that is killing.
Yes.
I just want to add one point in addition to what Brother Medina was identifying before, when he says about the temptation that you and I facing. If you should take a course, what you will find. Now, let me just read, right? It is taken from Temptation Deciphered, right? By Brother Medina himself, right? And he's telling us here, summary plan for dealing with temptation, right? And then he's saying here that, right, he's dealing with one of the points, temptation ideas, or ideas of temptation. So you have ideas of temptation or temptation ideas that comes to us. He says here, in temptation ideas, there are usually types of objects presented for a person to gratify. So you notice in temptation ideas, there are usually types of objects presented for a person to gratify, such as money, sex, food, narcotics, etc. So money is not necessarily bad in itself. It's not a bad thing. We need it as a means of exchange to get along. Sex is something that has been God ordained. It's God created sex. Food is not something necessarily bad. And you have narcotics also will have its use in certain fields. If you take a pound of coke and you leave it in a corner there, and you ain't that there, take a $12 for me, next 5 years you will do the coke right and you pay yourself. You don't harm anybody. Right? But see, but he's saying here now that, right, the temptation ideas, there are usually types of objects presented for a person to gratify, such as money, sex, food, narcotics, etc. And then he quoted Numbers 24, 12 and 13. So let me just quote that, and that is what I wanted to say. Numbers 24, 12 and 13. What we will be seeing here is types of objects presented to the person as a temptation for them to gratify. And you'll be surprised to see that this is one of the things that destroying the earth today. The doctrine of Balaam. Right? So 24 verse 12. Verse 12 it says, and Balaam said unto Balak, spake I not also to thy messengers, which thou sendest unto me, saying, if Balak would give me his house full of silver and gold, I cannot go beyond the commandments of Yahweh. So notice a house full with silver and gold, objects of gratification. Right? And here he's saying, even if that happened to me, I cannot go against the commandments of Yahweh. The height of morality, brethren. To do either good or bad of my own mind. But what Yahweh said, that will I speak. But we know what happened. The same objects that was presented to him, he yielded to it. And he accepted above the commandment of Yahweh. And look, today the world is suffering with that principle. Right? Demoralization. No morality in society because of that concept.
Right. So, we are continuing. We are looking at the point. When temptation comes to us, we must be conscious that it is the trial of our faith, and we are to keep the faith under the trial and develop Christ-like human personality traits unto the end for salvation. And we just read 1 Peter where we saw the trial of your faith, much more precious than gold, and it is through manifold temptations. Right? Let us see now James chapter 1, verse 2 to 4. James chapter 1, verse 2 to 4. And it says this, my brethren, count it all joy when we fall into diverse temptations. How many of us can really count it all joy when we face perplexity and so forth? It go on to say, knowing this. So you have a what? Consciousness. So when it is diverse temptation comes to you, you have to have a particular type of consciousness facing it. You can't be thoughtless. You can't afford to be thoughtless for any moments of the day. Right? Because we know the dragon, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. He's looking for any window of opportunity to destroy. So we have to always be conscious, and as Brother Medina showed, have a heightened morality. When you have a heightened morality, you're more conscious to look and find details of things that in itself is not wrong, but for me it would be wrong. Right? It goes on to say, knowing this, that you are trying of your faith worketh what? Patience. So the trying of your faith, once you keep the faith, you develop what? That is a Christ-like human personality trait. Right? It goes on. But let patience have a what? Perfect work, that he may be what? Perfect and what? Entire, wanting nothing. Right? So we must be conscious that when these temptations or trials or testings come to us, we must be conscious it is the trial of our faith, and we are to be conscious of the development that God is giving us as we face it. Because it comes to us for us to develop Christ-like personality traits. We see a trait here identified as what? Patience, but we're going to say an entire wanting nothing, so it's more traits. Right?
I'm looking to say perfect wanting nothing. How you can tell a sinner or sinners on earth that they are so perfect you don't lack anything. Or if God can say wanting nothing, you don't lack anything, that shows how we could be sin free. And that's the reason why the skepticism that our sin is so much we can't make us go. Because we exalt sin with that kind of mentality. You have to stop putting sin on an altar as if it's so hard and so bad and so terrible that maybe we could get a little way. You have to see it as it is nothing.
Amen.
And a delusion. And that we could be sin-free, wanting nothing.
Amen. Amen.
Yahweh is my shepherd.
Amen. I shall not want. Amen. Amen. Right? Let us also, yes. Let us also see 2 Peter chapter 1, 5 to 8. So when we face the different testings and trials, and we have to be conscious that it is the trial of our faith, and we have to be conscious of what development God is giving us at that time. Right? That will, when you have those type of consciousness, it really makes it much easier for you to pass through it. Because you actually see a blessing in it for you. God is grinding out whatever bad personality traits you have and giving you Christ-like personality traits, that you may be perfect, entire, wanting nothing. Amen? So, let us see 2 Peter chapter 1, verse 5 to 8. It says this: and besides this, giving all diligence, add to your faith. So you see, and I want to say, besides this, add to your, giving all diligence, add to your faith virtue. But you see, some people, they just hear the truth and I say different, but they don't give diligence, and as God should pursue the right thing. Our faith, there is nothing pursuing. Right? So it go on, and besides this, giving all diligence, add to your faith virtue. So this is Christ-like personality traits. They're developing. When you have the faith and these trials come, add to your faith virtue. The faith that you have, you keep it under the trial and you gain better traits. Right? It go on. It go on. Add to your faith virtue, and to virtue what? Knowledge or science. Right? So you see, sometimes you might be facing, and it is true, you might be facing a test with regards to health and so forth. You could waver with your trusting in God and all these kind of things when you face these kind of tests. But when you keep the faith under these kind of tests, you'll see, you can learn about these herbs here. This herb's good for that, that good for this good for that. So look at you went now, because of the circumstance you're facing here now, you have to do some what? Research and add what? Knowledge, to be knowledgeable in how this particular health issue, what is best for this, what is best for that. But before that issue of the health come, you didn't have that. You understand? You didn't have that. But
You
when
would
it
have a
comes,
desire to want to know.
huh?
You would not even have a desire to want to know.
Not always.
In plenty cases.
Yeah. Some people who just, they love health, they're not sick, they love health and they pursue and they want to know. But most people, when you under the situation now, you're placed in a situation, you're being tried, and you have to know, get the development, learn how to use what, when, where, and how. So you have the appetite to pursue it because of a test. Right? So, let me just see this. Amen. Alright, I will read it after, right? Somebody sent a portion of text here for you, right? Right. So let us continue here. Verse 5, reading 5 to 8. It says, and besides this, giving all diligence, add to your faith virtue, and to virtue knowledge, and to knowledge temperance, and to temperance patience, and to patience what? Godliness, and to godliness brotherly what? Kindness, and to brotherly kindness what? Charity. For if these be in you and abound, these traits, they make you that you shall neither be what? Barren, nor unfruitful in the knowledge of our Lord Jesus Christ. Verse 9. But he that lacketh these things is what? Blind, and cannot see afar off, and hath forgotten that he was what? Purged from his own sins. So when the test come and they give up the faith, the blind, you have forgotten you have been purged from your own sins, because he ain't go on to keep the faith under your testing and develop the Christ-like personality traits. So we must be conscious of these things when tests and trials come to you. You must be conscious it is the trial of your faith, and you, what God is giving you, the particular individual during that time, what you have to develop, be humble, and God will show you. And take the testings and take the development, because it is to work out that you will become what? Entire, wanting nothing.
I would like to read a quotation, and what you will see is how important it is for each and every one of us, as Brian rightly said, must grow in a heightened morality. You know, and this quotation, it holds, you know, when Brian made mention of it and he makes it point, it came back to this quotation. It is taken from the book, Our God is a Consuming Fire, page 17 and 18. It says this: then it is perfectly plain as ABC that the only true preparation for the coming of the Lord is separation from sin. It makes no difference how much we talk about the coming of the Lord, nor how much we preach the signs of the times, nor how much we prepare for otherwise, though we sell all we have and give to the poor, if we are not separated from sin. Make it our constant consideration to be absolutely separated from sin and to be servants of righteousness unto holiness. We are not making preparation for the coming of the Lord at all. Our profession is all a fraud. And it goes on to say this: the profession of being Adventist, of being a Seventh-day Adventist, looking for the coming of the Lord, telling people that the coming of the Lord is near, watching the signs of the times. All this is right, absolutely and forever right. But though I have all this and have not one thing, the sole ambition is to be completely separated from sin and from the service of sin. My profession of Adventist faith is a fraud. For if I am not separated from sin, I cannot meet the Lord at all in peace. Therefore, my sole ambition is, if my sole ambition is not separated from sin and from the service of it, I am not preparing to meet the Lord. And you see how important it is, it does be stressed that it must be overcoming sin. It must be a fight for sin. And this quotation really shows if it is as Walter showed, if it is not our ambition to be separated from sin, we are not being prepared.
Our preparation is a fraud. Amen. Right. So somebody gives us some scriptures, but I will carry on to just finish off for time's sake, right? Right. So we saw that when we are sealed with temptations or manifold testings, we must be conscious that it is a trial of our faith, and we have to see the development of Christ-like personality traits that we have to gain as we go through the trial, keeping the faith. Right? So we are looking now at James chapter 1 and verse 12. So we saw until your faith virtue, all these Christ-like personality traits, right? James chapter 1 and verse 12. James chapter 1 and verse 12. And we have also seen that we must develop Christ-like human personality traits unto the end for salvation. Right? So it says, verse 12, James chapter 1. Blessed is the man that what? Endureth temptation. For when he is tried, he shall receive the what? Crown of life, which the Lord hath promised to them that what? Love him. So here it is, we must endure the temptation. How we endure is by what? Keeping the faith and developing what? Christ-like personality traits, and we receive a what? Crown. Right? 1 Peter chapter 1 again, verse 6, 7 and verse 9. Final scripture. 1 Peter chapter 1, and then I will just show it on the chart here. Right? Verse 6, 7 and verse 9, it says this. Wherein ye greatly rejoice, though now for a season, if need be, ye are in heaviness through manifold temptations, that the trial of your faith, being much more precious than of gold that perisheth, though it be what? Tried with fire, might be what? Found unto praise and honor and glory at the appearing of Jesus Christ. Verse 9. Receiving the end for the aim of your faith, even the what? Salvation of your souls. So, on the chart here we see, keeping the faith under trial gives us development of what? Christ-like human personality traits. So that is why we must keep the faith, because we get what? Development of Christ-like traits. You become more Christ-like. When you face situations with the faith, you become more Christ-like. Right? And it shows salvation in the end, which is the what? Blotting out of our sins. So, you know, by the grace of God, where it's a start.
Before you finish, right? Pleasant Sabbath, brethren. Now, I know we press the time, it's half past, but I have a quotation here. Which some points in the quotation, it addresses certain issues that we experience in the faith, right? So, the name of the quotation, the name of the heading is The Discipline of Trial. Now, these are just small quotations taken from the book Ministry of Healing, so I can't tell you the page, but the heading is The Discipline of Trial, right? It says, to live such a life, that is the Christian life, to live such a life, to exert such an influence, cost at every step effort, self-sacrifice, discipline. Many who sincerely consecrate their lives to God's service are surprised and disappointed to find themselves as never before confronted by obstacles and beset by trials and perplexities. So sometimes a lot of people come to the faith and then they want to and they really want to be dedicated to God. But then they find themselves in certain trials. Right? Right. Now, and then they are surprised, well, why am I going through this? They are disappointed, why I have to go through this? Right? They pray for Christ-likeness of character, for a fitness for the Lord's work, and they are placed in circumstances that seem to call forth all the evil of their nature. Faults are revealed of which they did not even suspect the existence. So you come to Christ. You really want to be devoted and dedicated. You want to do the Lord's service. But then you find you end up in situations where all your faults coming up. Your impatience, your annoyance, you are short-tempered, you don't want to endure. Bad human personality traits come up. Right? Now, she says, like Israel of old, they question, if God is leading us, why do all these things come upon us? Some of us question that. If I come to the truth and I'm doing the right thing, why is this happening to me? Here's what she says. It is because God is leading them that these things come upon them. So God is putting you or allowing you to be in a situation because the personality traits have to be dealt with. You cannot do the service of God with bad personality traits. It continues. He who reads the hearts of men, trials and obstacles are the Lord's chosen methods of discipline and his appointed conditions of success. Let me skip a few, right? He sees that some has powers and susceptibilities which, rightly directed, might be used in the advancement of his work. So he sees in you, there's a particular trait, there's a particular talent. You may be able to speak to people, you may be able to counsel people, you may be able to encourage people, you may be able to preach. So God sees in you a trait that if rightly directed, you could do the best for God. Right? Now, in his providence, he brings these persons into different positions and varied circumstances that they might discover in their character the defects which have been concealed from their own knowledge. He gives them opportunity to correct these defects and to fit themselves for his service. Often he permits the fires of affliction to assail them that they might be purified. So some people like to blame evil angels for everything. Well, evil angels doing this and evil angels doing that. Yes, evil angels are responsible for bringing a lot of things on us. But you have to ask yourself, why is God allowing it to happen to you? So God is allowing it to happen to you because there's something that he is trying to develop in you. Ask yourself, what is my problem? What do I have to fix? Some people just go see what it is they have to fix. Constantly blame, well, this person do me this, or this person do me that, or even angels attacking me, but what about you that God is trying to develop? Right, brethren? So the last part, it says, the fact that we are called upon to endure trials shows that Jesus sees something precious in us that he desires to develop. If he saw in us nothing whereby he might glorify his name, he would not spend time in refining us. He does not cast worthless stones into his furnace. It is the valuable ones he refines. So whatever things that we are going through, there is something in you God wants to get rid of. There is something in you that God wants to develop for his service.
I couldn't say that. So, we have come to the end of this study. What we saw, even the faith under the trial gives us, as she points out in the quotations, development of Christ-like human personality traits that we may be entire, wanting nothing. And in the end, we receive salvation, the blotting out of our sins. In the end. So that is what it means to be enduring unto the end. So you're developing as they keep the faith. And also, I have come to the end of this study, by the grace of God. I hope it was a blessing to all. And it was very encouraging for me as I go through it. And because what I would have prayed, I hope everybody understood, the points. And by the grace of God, I will have it typed out to have as a booklet so everybody could get it who wants it. For their own personal goals, right? That's how it is.
That's our brethren. You know, in light of the study, a text was placed on my mind, and a brighter or a clearer understanding could be gained from the text now. The text is Revelation chapter 14 and verse 12. Right? And it says this: here is the patience or endurance of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of God and the faith of Jesus Christ. And that is in light of all the temptation they may face.
Amen.
Right?
Amen.
Amen.
But it tells us to keep the faith.
Amen.
So it's not just about to keep the commandments, you have to keep the faith under the trial. Once you keep the faith, you keep the commandments. Right? So we will close off with our word of prayer, and brethren, let us pray. Gracious, loving Father in heaven, we come before your throne of grace, thanking you, dear loving Father, for these truths which you have shown us. We ask you, loving Father, to help us to become more sincere in the areas that may have held us back. Give us humility and honesty, and to have perseverance, dear loving Father, in pursuing that which is right. And help us, loving Father, to be conscious and persistent to have a heightened morality, dear loving Father. We live in a time where there are a lot of distractions and a lot of things, devices, evil dangers. They set traps for us, and you allow us to go through certain things, certain tests, that we may develop the traits that you want us to have, that we may be entire, wanting nothing, Father. We thank you, Lord, for bringing us even thus far. Help us to continue, even until the end of this world, to be true Christians, to be genuinely walking in the faith, dear Father, without hypocrisy and without pretense. As we continue in the services today, we ask you to continue to bless us with understanding, to bless us with truths, dear Father, to help us. And we ask you, dear Father, to bless the dear brother who present these things to us, that help us to understand through the different literature and booklets. Help us to have value for this work, Father, that has been done for us, to be able to go through and study and learn in the privacy of our homes. Help us to be thankful for such a great help, Father. And as we continue, we ask you to be with us today. It's our humble prayer, and we thank you, Father, for hearing us. In Jesus' holy name, amen. Amen.